not necessarily by them, but by others in the past who have said they agree with these things and then they don't. Anyway, all right, so let's talk nuclear energy. Let's talk nuclear energy. So let me set the stage. Okay, let me set the fucking stage. I put out a video on the German elections wherein I said some pretty mean stuff about the German Green Party and ascribed to them a hefty amount of blame for the German nuclear exit. And I got a lot of German pushback, a very fierce comment section. And so I originally was going to do a sort of crash out. You know, I've done this in the past where I like pull up a Reddit thread and I like try to like tear apart the points and I do a whole crash out. That was my plan. And then I remembered the last time I did that. It was around my Slowly All at Once video. I did a crash out, okay? Now I got a great clip out of it. I got a hugely viewed clip, but I also got a million more Reddit posts like that. All I did was give it so much attention that I encouraged it. It was like self-perpetuating. It was bad. Also, I've said this year was the year of kindness. So what I'm going to do is try to approach this problem with kindness. I spoke to Aiden. Aiden watched my video, read the comments, and I asked Aiden as a neutral person. I said, Aiden, because he was interested. He's like, can you answer some of these questions? I'm reading the comments. I asked Aiden to put together a list of questions he got from the comments that he would like me to answer. So Aiden pulled these together, and his number one thing he said, I read all the comments, and the number one thing I'm asking for is, you know, why you are ascribing this to the Green Party over other parties. People are blaming the CDU. Can you go into that? Okay? So I want to do that. What I'm going to do today, and again, I want to do a larger point. I want to do a larger here. Is like, I am a streamer. I go live with no script, and I tell information based on things that I've read and learned. But I'm doing it live. I don't write it down. I'm going it live, okay? If I made a mistake on something, I'm happy to hear it. I'm happy to talk about it. However, in this case, I'm going to show you how I arrived at my conclusion. And I think when you see it, you may have a different opinion, okay? That's all I'm saying. All I'm going to do is I'm going to walk you through the step-by-step way that I got to my conclusion. I will walk you through all of the source data. I also spent a long time making sure that I have all of my sources. Usually I'm making these slides pretty quickly. I went through and I added the logos of where everything comes from. So if you would like to read this stuff yourself and learn about it, you can, okay? You can do whatever you want, all right? I want you to do that, actually. I want you to take the conclusions that I'm drawing and look into them and challenge them. But I want you to understand that they are hard-earned. I really don't mind when someone disagrees with me. I really don't. This may shock you. It's a big internet. People are gonna have a million opinions. I know that I have a very narrow political belief. There's not many people that are like, you know, pretty strongly socially left-wing, but also support free markets, who also support unions, it's a very unique sphere that I find myself in. Many people will disagree with me. It's fine. I don't care if they disagree with me. It's fine. What I don't like being told is that I didn't do my research. That I didn't source this. All right? So let's find out. I would like to take you back. Oh, wait. First, I'm sorry. I want to show you something. Okay. Wait. I want to show you this, okay? Before we go into it. And again, I read a lot of these comments, and I want to start with this. This is the narcissist prayer. The idea that, hey, something didn't happen, and if it did happen, it wasn't that bad. And if it was that bad, it wasn't my fault. It was someone else's fault. And if it was all that, well, then we all deserved it. Okay, maybe it was going to go on. I want you to keep this narcissist prayer in mind. Okay? This is kind of like the anti-nuclear prayer. This is Germany. Great country. I lived there for 4 years. This is Germany. This is nuclear power. I'm going to give you a brief overview of why I like nuclear power, because people have asked that. Why is Aatrox so pro-nuclear? Give a very simple overview. Nuclear power has a very high capacity rate. This means percentage of time that it's online. When you're running nuclear power, 92.5% of the time, except for down for maintenance, it's making power. It's generating stable base load power, okay? This is great. Wind and solar are also great sources of power, but they are less stable. They're intermittent. When the wind is not blowing or when the sun is not shining, they're offline. So they're good ancillary sources of power, but as stable baseload sources of power, they have problems. These coal and hydropower and natural gas, well, they're pretty good, except when you look at carbon footprint. So I also believe in climate change. I think climate change is a real thing and it's man-made, and that we should try to do our best to have clean energy. Nuclear is the lowest carbon emissions of any source. So it has the highest capacity rate and the lowest emissions, okay? Coal has many times more. I'm gonna say this early. It would be crazy to wanna stop producing nuclear and produce more coal. Any situation in which you found yourself turning on coal plants after you turned off nuclear plants, you have to really question what the fuck's going on, okay? At the same time, there's a larger thing that I don't believe in. This is just true. The world's demand for energy grows every year. It is an up and to the right graph from the dawn of time, except for maybe the Black Plague. It's an up and right graph. We are always demanding more energy. As society grows, as we digitize more, as we get electric vehicles, the demand for electricity continues to grow. You always need more power. And so finding ways to create that power that is also clean is very important. There are no countries in the world who are high income and low energy. If you want your country to be rich and to have good things for your citizens, you are going to be a high energy country. As you move the energy ladder, you move the income ladder. Energy is life. So again, you have to find a way to grow your country. If you start skimping on energy, or your energy becomes more expensive, it's very bad for your country. You start falling down the income ladder very quickly, okay? These are all things that are like staples to the noise. Now, with all that boring stuff out of the way, let's take ourselves to 1980s Germany. The style was different. The fashion was different. Times were good. We're in the 80s, baby. We got big wild hair. There's good music on. And we're in Germany. Things are good. Jeans, t-shirt, Beach Boys. Things are good. And in Germany, things are looking extra pretty good because, and the Berlin Wall's about to fall, and Germany is a nuclear superpower. Wait, I need to make sure this fits. Germany, oh yeah, there it is. Germany has become, over the course of the 70s and 80s, a massive nuclear energy power. They've built a ton of nuclear power plants. It's producing a huge mix, I think about a fourth or a fifth of all of their energy. It's, again, 22 gigawatts, it's a billion watts, of the world's best run nuclear reactors. Germany was once capable of churning out 170 terawatt hours per year of carbon-free baseload power, an enviable anchor that served as one of their two economic foundations of its impressive manufacturing sector. Okay? This is a big fucking deal. Now again, a gigawatt is 3.125 million solar panels. And there was 22 of them in nuclear. So 3 million times 22, that's how many solar panels they had, of stable baseload carbon-free nuclear power. Germany loved their nuclear. It was doing very well. They had an extremely powerful homegrown. They were some of the best in the world at it. In fact, at the time, there was a Simpsons episode where Germany was so associated with their strong nuclear energy sector that Mr. Burns sells the plant to the Germans.
Mr. Burns, we've heard that a German consortium has offered to purchase the plant. Any comment? You'll see the Statue of Liberty wearing lederhosen before you see Germans running my plant. Now, don't worry. I think you'll find that these two gentlemen are as American as apple pie. Hans and Fritz, well, that's just John and Frank.
Ich bin ein Springfielder.
No, they'll bring their own people in.
Oh, this ain't good.
By the way, the episode ends with Homer doing such a bad job as the Germans sell the plant. Anyway, so that was in the media. Like, the media had a picture of Germans as being pro-nuclear, having a big nuclear industry. Around the same time, there was a rising environmentalist movement, there was student protests, and a party emerged called Die Grünen, the Green Party. Okay? This is where the Green Party emerged, late 70s, early 80s. They were kind of like hippies of the time. They showed up, they wore sneakers, they had beards, they didn't wear suits. They were in the Bundestag, which is the parliament of Germany. By the way, I think being hippie's cool. I think they were anti-war, they wanted peace, it was all great. You'd think that a pro-environmentalist Green Party that's anti-war and all that would have certain beliefs, right? So let's say there's a spectrum like this, where on the left, you hate nuclear energy, and on the right, you say nuclear power, yes, please. I'm gonna just make sure that this fits. You would think, where would you think the Green Party would fall on this spectrum? Would they be nuclear power, yes, please, or would they be anti? The Green Party in Germany specifically falls here. The Green Party in Germany specifically, birthed in this time in the 70s and 80s, is extremely, extremely anti-nuclear. This student movement, because of the time and the era and, I don't know, fears over nuclear power, the Green Party, this is pre-Chernobyl, by the way. This isn't even after Chernobyl. This is pre-Chernobyl. The Green Party in Germany has a fusion of the environmentalist movement and the anti-nuclear movement. This is going to have effects over the next few decades. This fusion of these two movements, anti-nuclear, by the way, the Green Party is formed out of anti-nuclear protests in front of the nuclear factory in Will, Germany. Okay, nuclear, yeah. Okay, understand that. This is all confirmed. Feel free to check my sources, okay? Look into it. It traces its origins to student protest movements. The focus of the movements were protests against nuclear power, okay? Then they get into power in the 83. They get their first 5% lead to get into parliament. Now, they're not a big party. They don't have a lot of power, but they can make a shakeup. So they get into federal parliament, and they start bringing their staunchly anti-nuclear position into parliamentary debates. And they start pressuring the two big parties, we'll talk about them a lot later, the CDU and the SDP, conservative